Okay. After some time, I'm ready. Hello, everybody. I am Thanos Xyrichodis from 5G Yana. So today, I have the invitation in order to present you some actions we got in the project in order to validate some cross project collaboration. But for starters, before getting there, I would like to go through some detail just for everybody to be aligned. This is the agenda. Okay, I will just give you an overview of the project, some developments and some definition we have taken for granted in the project in order to proceed with the developments. What we have developed inside in terms of descriptors, and finally the most crucial part, given that we also extended this collaboration from the Plugfest, the cross-project collaboration, which is something like a validation, how we actually faced what ICT41 project produced and how we consumed it. So let me start by anyhow an overview, and just to give you an idea of what 5G Yana is. We developed a platform for simplifying the deployment and the testing on top of on top of programmable infrastructures, with also the support of 5G. So in that regards, what we have developed, the platform provides onboarding and registration of applications. Let's call it application for now, given that NetApps will become in a later state. Reusability of these applications, and some testing procedures following a specific methodology. One other feature is that we have developed through the course of this project is also the runtime configuration. So after a deployment happens, how we're managed to make runtime configurations over these test beds. This is something also provided. The second bullet is to hide everything with regards to details on the infrastructure, and we do that by integrating both 5G technologies and providing them as services through the platform. Now, of course, this raises the question how you did it. This is becoming not automatically like how you do in 5GAS, but we beforehand integrating this, and we are exposing them through the platform in order to be consumed by users that they need to use it. So the setup in terms of a tester for using this equipment requires very minimum parameters, like specifying uplink, downlink. So let's say the vertical view and the vertical parameters for definition of a 5G slice and the required resources in terms of computation is minimal. I will go through it shortly in next slides. And the other, let's say, crucial thing that gives the success to that project is that we are able to provide also the integration with moving parts like vehicles or roadside units, in order to be used by third parties and experimenters, which again is provided as a service through the platform. And the third bullet is to create, let's say, an open development environment. Again, this is something similar with 5GAS in order to create something that can be reused if possible and head to standardization sometime. Anyhow, in a glance. That's the architecture. I will not spend a lot of time here. Only two layers exposed. The one is for keeping all the NetApps repository and the way to store and have the NetApp inside the platform. So the yellow box represents this, how and treats this part. How can you set a tester can enter, register on board, and store before deploying and deploy, the application, his or her application. The second layer mainly deals with all the things I said before for incorporating, integrating technologies and infrastructure in order to expose them to the experimenters. So imagine that this layer does this, takes all the slicing and all the parameters, the networking and the computational power that each tester uses is aggregated with a specific way in that layer, and is being able to be exposed to the experimenters for using it. And on top of it, as an innovation now to the previous, to the other two layers, which more or less you already, majority of you already knows it, we have built specific services that provides monitoring in order for both in the infrastructures and the mobile, the vehicles that we integrate and the other equipment that we have. And the last and the most, let's say, innovative part is that we use one particular component which uses federated learning and machine learning techniques in order to select vehicles, to install clients, and to train on top of these vehicles. So this is something that is provided as a service through the platform and can be used by the testers. However, okay, it's still under development. It's finalizing soon. It will be finalized soon, but it's one of the strong innovations in this project. So, but I will not spend any time here. So, moving next to the NetApp development, experimentation and reusability. So, just to quickly say that the concept of NetApp is something that we faced and we need to define. Is a set of network visualized functions together with the required resources, deployable and operating over 5G testbeds using 5G services. Taking for granted the definition, and given that more or less the NetApps are close to this, give or take, we have a distinction about application functions and network functions. Application functions implement the application logic. Network function is what makes the application NetApp, implements the communication, anything that requires, let's say, specific treatment, and specific hardware with required to communications, to specific protocols that is being used in order to leverage this. So, in order to create, let's say, new, to exploit the capabilities of that platform, we have created we have extended the descriptor. So, created the 5G YANA descriptor, which is Docker composed mainly with extra fields. The extra fields that we have added are targeting the infrastructure, the location, and the testing site, meaning that we need to know where we're going to put this. The specific information about if it is a public or restricted or a private NetApp, health checks, if it is a generic NetApp, meaning that it applies to software, or it is a vertical specific, which demands specific hardware, or it is vendor locked by a company or any commercial partner. And the final is that we have added also the requirements for the network. The requirements for the network, as I said before, defined by the end user, by the tester, and only applies to slice types, parameters for that slice, a few parameters, not a lot of them, and some KPIs related with quality of the service that the NetApp requires before the deployment. This is the same, but in other form. Okay, the development lifecycle in our scope follows more or less the same pattern. So mainly before a NetApp deployment, there has to be a test of a valid NetApp. And for this, the developer or the tester is providing his code. This code again, through pipelines and robot framework, as I asked before, Kostas, is going through specific tests. And after these tests are verified, are successful, it's been built and pushed into a central repository we have, where we collect all the packages of the project. And this is where the process starts to become, okay, this is the one phase, which, as I said before, is bring the code, design the specific patterns, bring it over the repository, the pipelines, and the robot framework, start building it and create an image and store it before start the deployment. I will not go to the deployment because it's another process, but just to give you an idea of the cycle, of the development cycle we use. And just for mentioning, in the repository there are already 64 components, meaning both AFs and network functions. This means that they already has been tested and verified. And with this, we have comprised 83 NetApps, which can be found in this catalog, the central repository. Some of them, the majority of them are open, and you can use them without any restrictions. There are, I think, 2 which has some restrictions, privacies from the companies. This is some clusterization of what types of NetApps we have. I will not go into this, given that you can find it on this portal here. We have an open registry in order to indexing this and, let's say, provide some filterings and some searching criteria in order to see if and what is there, just for reference if you would like to use it. Okay. And this brings me to the last part, which actually is the cross-project collaboration. Now, okay, given that we had 2 opportunities, one was in the Plugfest, which we have integrated NetApps from Evolve 5G and Vital 5G. So that was the first test where we were actually had this conversation about we need to have a standardization, how are we going to incorporate, if we are close to something, in order to change it a little bit, to have something in common. Anyhow, the second test was done by a proposition from 5GASP to integrate some NetApps of YANA inside the GASP, inside 5GASP marketplace. With this certification that you provide. So we took this opportunity in order to see what overhead this process has, in order to estimate how easy we can converge or say, okay. Anyhow, in order to evaluate this process, we gave two NetApps. Both of them are property of links. And they're providing, both of them have to do with ITS protocol and stack. So it provides network layer functionalities according to ETSI ITF standards and uses one specific interface, 5G UU. And how I will not go into this. The functionality per se is to provide an API in order to use these types of signaling in ITS messages, and in order for third parties to focus on the development of CCAM applications. More or less the way it is provided is through Swagger APIs and can be easily integrated. It's REST calls mainly. Now, this is how it can be integrated and where can be found. Okay, and now On my side, the evaluation of this process. So what we have done, and in order to have this inside 5GAST repository, was mainly to adapt the 5G YANA descriptor as we have it into a particular, let's say, technology description that 5GAST uses. In that case, we had to transform the 5G YANA descriptors into Helm charts. So mainly this extended Docker Compose had to be changed into Helm chart. Both Helm chart is an industry dominant technology. So we have done this in two ways. One was manually, changing the format and shifting according to the instructions of how can a Helm chart can be defined, and automatically. Automatically has been done with one open source component which is named Compose. I just put it for reference there. In terms of both, so we have both manual and automatic. In terms of time and performance, let's say, the output was the same. And the reason that the output was the same for performance reasons, not for time, this is wrong, neglect this, is that in order to transform it manually, it took us specific time to do it by hand. But with the automatic tool, we had this like instant, but the automatic tool had some issues with some specific keys that we would like to have inside that particular Helm chart. So we ended up fixing, let's say, providing code, this extra code, in order to fix these misalignments in the two descriptors. Now, if I make one comment there, and let's say try to fix this Compose according to our needs, the performance comparison will be totally different. The automatic way is going to be created instantly, and given that there are no errors, this could be something that can provide one descriptor, the descriptor transformation to another would be in less than a second. So perhaps we can extend this using this Compose file in order to have this as an exercise if 5GAST continues to be and to having this open this repository in the marketplace. So the main let's say, outcome of this exercise for us was that there are common things that we're using. So both of the projects are using industry dominant technologies. Either Compose or Helms are very, very mature. And now, if we have this transformation phase, or we can, let's say, have a specific tool for creating these two descriptors or aligning these two descriptors. So in order to overcome the standardization issue, this is something that will benefit, I think, if a lot of ICT41 projects, because the same thing, we had this with Vital, which uses again a Docker Compose similar file, and 5G Meta, if I'm not mistaken. So mainly, and due to the lack of standardization, something like this would be beneficial for all the ICT41 projects, I think, because all of them are based on open source projects, and there are specific, let's say, specific open source projects that everybody is using it. So even OSM is using Helm charts right now, even everybody is converging to specific technologies. So for me, the lack of standardization couldn't raise any issue for the time being, given that the majority of them are having something common in terms of how of technology of the deployment manager or the descriptors they're using to deploy their services on top of programmable infrastructure. That's it. I don't have